Your mic is lagging.
Is it fine now?
Yes. So we are gonna discuss temporal infinitism, right?
Yeah.
So I will take the stance that time does not expand infinitely in the past. I'm a temporal finitist, and you will be on the negation.
That wasn't what I said.
But I'm a temporal finitist.
No, that's not what I was framing the debate as.
Oh, I see.
I said, you would give your rejections to infinitism, and you would give your rejections to infinitism, and I would see whether or not they internally contradict infinitism insofar that infinitism cannot correspond with reality or cannot exist within reality.
I see. So you know that an actual infinite can exist. An infinite temporal regress is an actual infinite. The, ergo temporal infinitism can exist. Because if an actual infinite existed, it would lead to absurdities such as the Hilbert's Hotel paradox. Are you familiar with the Hilbert's Hotel paradox? No?
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
The
You
Hilbert's
said
Hotel
that it
paradox.
would create absurdities?
Such as the Hilbert's Hotel paradox. Are you familiar with
Mm-hmm.
it? So this
Yeah,
paradox
I just see that it's not logically impossible within our reality. And so far that you're trying to say that it creates these absurdities. If they're not logical absurdities, then I don't really think that's a contradiction to the infinitist position, and that you can still be justified in believing in the infinite position.
but by natural laws, it is not possible. Let's say the uh, the Hilbert's
By
Hotel
natural
paradox.
laws, then all I have to suggest is that my beliefs don't necessarily align with the perceived natural laws of the world, and that in the ways that which we experience the natural laws of the world aren't necessarily what is necessarily true or hold as a necessary standard.
But let's say, are you familiar with the concept of entropy? Entropy is the measurement of
Yeah.
uncertainty and energy disposal of a system. So the universe, the total entropy of the universe is always increasing. Uh,
Not if
if
it's infinite.
if temporal infinitism were to be real, then the universe would have reached its equilibrium end state an infinite time ago, which is not possible.
Why not?
Like I said, if uh,
What? You're cutting out.
for for entropy to reach its equilibrium end state, there must be a point of time where entropy must be 0 joule per Kelvin.
What does it mean for it to be a state of zero? Well, I'm so confused. Wait, why couldn't I just suggest that entropy just works different, and in terms of in terms of the way in which we perceive it, under a case of like infinitism?
It doesn't actually,
Okay, why?
because like we see, energy is always transferring
Yeah, I
from.
am eating right now. I
Hello.
decided I'm just gonna settle with cereal. I stopped. I
Okay,
stopped looking for food.
I see.
No, just cereal, just cereal. I'm just having cereal, bro. I'm not having chicken and cereal, bro.
What's the time there?
What?
What's the time in your country?
12 a.m.
Damn, you are awake at that time.
None.
See,
I just was really craving cereal. Oh, that was good.
mm, hello, hello. Is anybody there?
Oh. All right, I'm back upstairs. Oh wait,
Hello?
I got 10 minutes.
Okay. Should I continue? Hello. Yo, bro. Should I continue?
Excuse me. My goodness.
Oh yeah. There's
I
no talking,
mean,
then you can eat in the
go-
background, Misa.
I just don't think you guys know what you're asking for.
It's me. I'm
oh my
actually
god.
fucked up.
All right, I guess I shall.
Yeah. So like, oh no, I was just proposing that in the case of like, in the case of our perceived senses and the way that which we understand entropy could just be flaw. Like, what's the contradiction to that? Go ahead.
Ah,
Oh my god, I'm about to run every single argument, hero. It's over. I'm gonna go down the line, man.
So,
Very good.
based on scientific studies and how
mm,
how energy is dispersed we are it's propositionally justified to believe that entropy always increases in a system.
What? You're lagging. You're lagging. You're lagging. You're lagging. You're lagging. You're
Bro's
lagging.
roboting like
Oh,
shit. Oh my god.
You're,
I'm not
you're lagging. You're lagging.
like I said, based on scientific studies, it is propositionally justified to believe that entropy is always
God.
increasing in our universe.
What? Wait, there's no. Okay, I don't think you understand what you're saying, because these scientific studies are just things that which are verified to our understanding and through the means of how we try to believe in them, or if they are justified within our beliefs. And I'm saying that it could just be the case that it doesn't align with my beliefs in insofar which that I don't actually hold to entropy the same way that which you do, and that the way that which we experience entropy could just be something that's flawed. So I'm asking you, when you say that these things are justified, under what kind of scope are they justified? If they're just simply empirically justified within a given set of scientific data, then I don't really care for it, because it's not really contradicting my position. So like, what's your argument?
I mean, the data that we have, it's apt for reality than what you believe or hold. Like, I can, I can believe that I can believe that flying cows exist. That doesn't mean that they actually exist.
What? What did you say?
I can believe something absurd that doesn't align with the natural laws, but it wouldn't be apt for reality.
It's like that I believe I'm just going internally believing that I'm justified in believing something. And then your position is that you're.
No,
Yeah, I just said I gave a denial to the natural laws. I just said that I gave
hello.
like a case against the natural laws. And the way that which we perceive them as natural laws actually do exist, and that we do conform to them within reality. you're trying to say that, oh, we probably do, and I'm saying that I don't necessarily need to actually believe it, nor am I justified in believing so.
I see. Hmm.
So what's going to be the argument?
So, are you aware of the distinction between propositional and doxastic justification? Hello?
What?
Are you aware of the symmetry breaker between propositional and doxastic justification?
Yeah, I am. That's why I've been framing it as that, which you have to give me an internal critique as to which that I can be justified in believing in something that which you're not justified in believing. I can be justified in believing in X, Y, Z delusions, in which that you're not justified in believing it. So I'm asking you, what's going to be the argument as to why we have to believe in such anything in which that it isn't to be internal critique against my position, or an internal corruption against my position?
I see.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm just devil's advocate. I'm a physicist as well. But I'm just saying.
I see.
You're a what?
I'm a finitist as well. A temporal finitist, I believe in finite time. But I'm just saying, like, what's going to be the argument against finitism? I mean, infinitism. My bad. I think, like, these cases are just probabilistically good insofar that they're only good to, like, I guess,
really,
someone that isn't a solipsist or something that doesn't accept
they
these
aren't
things.
probabilistically good, I wouldn't say, but they are based on our sensory experience. They are a posteriori arguments.
Yeah, I know it's an a posteriori argument. I'm just denying it. I'm just saying, given the grounds that which I could believe in XYZ delusions, and I could believe that something is happening which isn't necessarily captured by your sensory data, and I'm saying that our sensory data don't necessarily hold to truth in the way that which you think it does, just because a large amount of people believe in so and so doesn't necessarily mean that I'm no longer justified in believing in so, and that these senses that I have, which is different from yours, are going to be false. So I'm asking you, like, what's going to be the argument as to why they actually hold within reality? And I mean, I guess we can go down the line of what we take reality to be. If we take reality from an objective standpoint, the argument doesn't really work.
I see.
What's up?
But we do have enough reason to believe such. Are you aware of the conformal cyclic cosmology argument?
You have reasons to believe in, so I don't. And what'd you say?
Conformal cyclic cosmology argument.
Let me see what that is. The universe undergoes infinite cycles called the switch.
So basically, it posits that it's the best argument for temporal infinitism, which posits that the universe goes through an endless cycle of death and rebirth.
Okay.
The big crunch happens, then the big bang happens again and again.
But what's the issue with that?
So the issue with that is it posits an infinitely more number of entities. And according to ontological perspective,
you're still justified in believing that. I'm not pausing it as true.
And according
to you're talking about an infinite amount of entities in which that I could have reason to believe in. And if that's the case, then the counter argument that which you're going to present doesn't necessarily counter mine in the case that which I am justified in believing in these things. That's what I've prefaced in the beginning of the debate. I said that I'm going to be taking the position that, hey, we are going to have a debate about whether or not infinitism is actually, or can be believed in, and I'm asking for the internal critique of that belief. And you said that, well, yeah, it's going to lead into logical absurdities, and then you just posited the argument for me in which that it doesn't posit any logical absurdities. Do you see how you just conceded?
I didn't. I said that it leads to absurdities such as the Hilbert's hotel paradox. Would
You
you?
just gave the reconciliation as to why that Hilbert's paradox wouldn't actually occur, in the sense that it would lead to absurdities under the infinite temporal system that I can present. And so, if that's the case, you just conceded.
I didn't.
You just
Let
conceded
me.
under your own admission.
Uh, Please let me explain the Hilbert's hotel paradox at least.
I mean, you can explain it, but what will that do?
I didn't concede. It's called reductio ad absurdum.
You know. Okay, no, I understand that you're and I'm okay. I said that, okay, well, if you're trying to is under the position that it is logically absurd, then I'm going to have to ask for that argument, because then I can't uphold that position. However, if it's not logically absurd under the case that which the paradox in itself isn't able to be metaphysically reconciled, then I don't care for the paradox in which you could propose if I can propose something that which reconciles the idea of infinitism. And you've given me that theory of infinitism, meaning that it's not logically absurd. Coming from my first argument that which I presented to you and the reconciliation that which you gave, you actually just conceded to the position that I can justifiably believe in infinitism. I could have an infinite set of doxastic justifications, and these could all be infinite motivators. Of course, there's no probability in that which I could actually hold to this
that would
as a
lead to an
necessary truth,
infinite
but I can
epistemic
still
regress.
justifiably believe in this.
That would lead to an infinite epistemic regress.
Yeah, which, again, I can have an infinite set of doxastic justification. I mean, like, I'm completely fine with an infinite doxastic justifiers. Maybe not things that extend beyond those doxastic states. Things that which hold analytically true, I would just say that don't necessarily hold within that infinite doxastic state, or don't need to. And so if that's the case, then I don't really care for the infinite viciousness of propositional regress or whatnot. Like, I don't really care for that. Like, it's whatever to me.
I would say an infinite epistemic regress isn't possible. There are information with a positive epistemic status,
God.
which denies an infinite epistemic regress.
He's cutting out. Is he cutting out for everyone else?
No.
Cutting out for me.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, what's up?
Like I said, an infinite epistemic regress isn't possible because there are information with a positive epistemic status that act as the foundation of knowledge and beliefs.
Yeah, I already addressed that. I already knew you were going to bring that up. I already addressed that.
See,
I just said that, like, I can have infinite motivators in terms of doxastic justification and infinite doxastic justifiers. However, under the case of things that which are analytically true, or things that which don't necessarily need them, I can just particularly hold to these things. I can particularly, because it doesn't necessarily mean that all things are going to be in an infinite regressive state. It's just that certain propositions are going to be in an infinite regressive state. And then if I have an infinite amount of doxastic justifiers given the quality of the actual position in which that what I'm talking about is in regards to like infinitism, right? Or infinite temporal time or infinite
Yes.
temporality. And I'm saying that I can have, in this case, infinite justifiers. Or infinite exhaustive justifiers here.
Yes. So
And
you
I'm
asked for
completely
an
fine with that.
you asked for an internal critique of temporal infinitism. So
Yeah.
you know that in temporal infinitism, and infinite regress of events is possible. So
Yeah, I'm aware.
an an infinite regress is a theoretical vice, I would say. It's it's one of the reasons to reject a theory, let's say.
Okay.
And like I said, the conformal cyclic cosmology, that's the only good argument for infinitism, I'd say. Uh, it is less parsimonious than that finitist argument because it posits an infinite amount of entities. The universe just restarts again and again. And according to ontological
That
parsimony, all
doesn't,
of the
by the way, just so you know, that doesn't posit an infinite amount of entities, just so you know. An infinite amount of entities under the case of a theory would be an infinite amount of principles in which that is needed for the theory. But this is just simply one principle.
that
And if you're talking about the quality of the principle, well, I mean,
I
you'd need to
I would
justify it being infinite in terms of the qualitative aspect, where
I mean
this necessarily needs an infinite amount of justifiers or reasons. And I'm just thinking that, well, I don't know how you're going to give that. But yeah, under your case, you haven't really given me any reasons to deny infinitism.
okay, yeah, you just
Or
said
internally contradict infinitism. Because
you
I can still have my priors and I can still have my reasons to actually justifiably believe in infinitism.
first of all, what you said was the ideological parsimony, which posits that the theory that
Yeah.
that states the least number of primitive concepts should be applied. But what I said was ontological parsimony. There's a distinction between both.
I know. I know.
Yes.
The amount
And
of entities given doesn't necessarily make it less parsimonious. That's all I'm saying.
see,
I mean that's regardless, right? I mean, it doesn't make it less parsimonious, but whenever you talk about parsimony, I think you were interpreting it wrong. I was just saying that these things that which are embedded within the principles or within the theory in itself are going to be the entities within that theory. And if that's the case, then you would be saying that there's an infinite amount of principles embedded within the theory. And I'm just saying that, well, no, there's just one infinite temporal theory. And there are other theories in which that I wouldn't necessarily consider for you to say that, well, or this theory is more parsimonious because we have a lot more to talk about. Like I could reconcile these things as a way which I could just add one theory and it wouldn't be infinitely parsimoniously less than whatever theory you would present.
see, but so you would want an a priori argument for finitism.
I mean, I would just need like an internal critique where there's the logical contradiction within my argument. It wasn't hot cereal. It was just it was cold cereal.
Are you enjoying it?
No, I did enjoy it. It was really good, alhamdulillah, but it was
See,
it did not warm my body up at all. I'm so cold. Oh
Are you
my
still
God.
are you still going to the gym in Ramadan?
Yeah, I am. I went the other day.
It must be a
Yeah,
pain
it's
for
not
you.
because your aura. Yeah, it kind of is. Like, I have no energy to actually lift.
It must be painful to or do all the workout while fasting.
A little bit.
Yes.
Shoot, you can really hear me shiver. Oh my God, I'm in blankets now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, a logical contradictions. You asked for a logical contradiction for infinitism to be false. So, like I said, let me explain the
Yeah.
Hilbert-Hotel paradox, at least. So, the Hilbert-Hotel paradox posits that there's a hotel with an infinite number of. It assumes that an actual infinite can happen. So there's a hotel with an infinite number of rooms and an infinite number of people in each room. So if we so if we there's a new guy who enters the hotel, and
Hmm.
so would that mean that the sum number of people in the hotel is infinite plus one?
That doesn't
That's
make
not.
sense.
Yes, that doesn't make sense. Exactly, that doesn't make sense.
I'm
So
saying that it
it's a
doesn't
it's a
capture
logical
reality.
exercise.
No, I'm saying that doesn't really make sense. I don't understand this
Yes,
paradox. You're saying infinity plus one? There
yes.
wouldn't even be able to be any new persons if there are infinite persons within the hotel. That doesn't make sense.
For
That paradox doesn't even make sense because if I have an infinite amount of people within the hotel, then I can't. There aren't any other people outside of the hotel.
it's mathematical.
There's already an infinite amount.
It's not. It doesn't. We know that we don't have an infinite amount of people in our world, but it's mathematically possible for to be an
We
infinite
can.
amount of people. Yes,
We can have an infinite amount of people within the world. I mean, that's completely fine. But the Hilbert's paradox that you just stated is trying to say that, well, if we do have this infinite set, then it's infinity plus one. There's going to, if there's one person that shows up, well, one person can't show up. They're all inside the hotel.
it's mathematically possible to be an infinite set. Set theory.
Yeah, but that's not in reference to absolute infinity. Like for instance, right? If we're
Actual,
saying that, huh?
absolute infinity is different from an actual infinite. Absolute
Oh,
infinite is
you're
the
talking
sum of
about
all.
actual infinite. Okay, I mean, I'm fine with analogizing it to. I just I would just say like an actual infinity, and I'm saying that the actual infinity can only be actualized within the hotel, and that set of infinity can't be at there. Like for instance, if there is that set of infinity within the hotel, it's not that one person now just exists outside of the set. That doesn't make sense. Now you can grow it
It
mathematically speaking, but in
yes.
terms of actualizing it within analogies, they're
Math,
not accurate.
it's logically possible to be. And you
It's
ask for a logical
it's
contradiction.
logically possible. How?
Yes.
Actually, matter of fact, I'll just deny this theory of math that you're upholding. So, like, I'm trying to grasp it. Like, so why does this actually hold?
Basically, a thought experiment using the laws of logic.
No. I get that, but you're
Yeah,
saying that okay. How do you define an actual infinite here?
actual infinite. You know, a line that has no start or end. The topology of that line is an
Okay.
actual infinite.
Yeah. So there's no start. There's no end. Right. That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
Okay. And if the set of all people exists without start or end within the hotel because there is no start end within the hotel, then it cannot be the case, logically speaking, that there exists one entity outside of the set that which is necessarily a part of the set if it is a person. So that doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to understand, how is this logically possible if it's meant to be contained within the set of persons?
That's it. We wanted to prove that it's not logically possible to have an actual infinite.
No, I'm saying we can, and I'm saying that actual infinite is just a start or end. I'm saying that what you're proposing isn't an actual infinite, because the number one doesn't add. If everything is already actualized within the building, right, then there isn't anything in which that is outside the building within the set that isn't already in the building. So I'm saying that this actual infinity that you're proposing isn't proposing an actual infinity, but just a logically flawed mathematical theory or whatever. And I'm saying that this doesn't actually capture actual infinity, nor does it actually capture an actual infinity in the way that which we apply it to reality. So I'm just saying, or within my belief here.
Yes, that's the point. We can't have an actual infinite in reality. Um, so if
No, I'm
we
saying
look at
you
the
got actual infinity wrong. I just said I deny the theory of math that which you're trying to propose. I'm just saying that like this theory of math here is just incorrect.
yes,
It doesn't actually capture an actual infinity.
yes,
Because if an actual infinity is the set of all numbers, then and if it has no end or beginning, then you cannot add to it to make it even bigger if it has no end or beginning. There isn't any new entity within the set that which can be added to it to make it bigger. So that plus one that you proposed doesn't mean anything.
I mean that would lead to a logical contradiction.
No, I'm saying it would. I'm saying that you got math. I don't even think it necessarily needs to uphold to logic necessarily. I think you can have incoherent like mathematical theories. Like for instance, like if you hold to like 3 equaling something that which it's not, then obviously it's logically or logically flawed, right? And so in that case, whenever you propose this set of infinity, I don't even think you're proposing an actual set of infinity within the case of infinitism, and I'm just denying that this would capture infinity or infinitism. So this isn't a logical contradiction within my position. I'm just denying your theory of mathematics that what you're trying to apply. I'm just saying that it's falsely understood.
See, I mean, in infinitism, let's assume infinitism is true, then it would actually
Okay.
have an infinite number of entities within the universe.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
yo,
That's not.
and
Yeah,
there's
I said yeah. What's up?
a distinction between an actual infinite and a true infinite. True infinite can merge itself with finitude. It's a circular process, like Hegel stated.
What? What is true infinity?
An infinite, that's a circular process, like I said. And
Yeah,
an
I get
actual
that part,
infinite.
but what do you mean by that?
Okay, let me finish, please. So we know then
Go for
that
it.
an actual infinite is like a line that has no start or end. But true
Okay.
infinite is like a circular process that can merge itself with like finitude or whatever.
Wait, what? That merges itself with finitude? I don't understand what you mean by that. I mean, if you're saying it's a circular process, I mean, I don't necessarily see how that really makes sense, because then it does like come back to the specific. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I agree to that, because then it comes back to a specific point in which that it already passed. in that case, then it's not really a true infinity, because when we try and understand the analogy of the circular process, it's actually finite, because we come back to the same point in which that has already been repeated, meaning that we are coming back to a starting point. That past point would be a specific starting point in which that we already progressed through. If it is circular, then it's not infinite, because
Yes.
it closes. The reason why we understand a line to be infinite, because a line can just extend both ways, but a circle closes. A circle closes. That's the issue. In which that case, there's already a previous spot in which that it kind of converges already. Not necessarily converges, but you understand what I mean. Yeah.
See. So, are you familiar with the like Hilbert-Sodal paradox? I'd say a similar paradox happens, which is the Russell's paradox. Are you familiar with it?
I mean, I know the name. I don't remember what it does. What does it do again?
So, any theory with the unrestricted comprehension principle. So, we assume that
What principle?
the unrestricted comprehension principle.
Could you type that out? I don't know what you just said.
Wait.
Okay. You want to go to conclusions after this?
Sure.
Unrestricted comprehension principle. All right, let's see this.
So,
That for any property there exists a set containing exactly the object that satisfy that property, formulated as okay. It allows forming sets from any predicate but causes fatal. I don't understand like the relevance of this.
so with any theory with the unrestricted comprehension principle, you can have the set of all sets, which is an infinite number of sets that are not part of itself.
A set of a set?
Yes.
No, that doesn't make sense. If it's a set of everything, then everything in itself isn't going to. It's not going to contain itself. If it's already a set of everything, that doesn't really make sense.
Wait, let me finish. So the set of we can
Okay, go
have,
ahead. Yeah.
according to the axioms of choice, we can make sets from
Axioms
the
of what?
elements of a set. That doesn't matter. Axioms of choice.
Axioms of choice. What do you take that to be? I don't know what that means.
You can take some elements of a set and make another set. Doesn't matter.
Axioms of choice. Let's search it up. So you said, give any collection of non-empty sets. It is possible to construct a new set by choosing exactly one element from each set in the collection. I don't even see the relevance. Can we go to conclusion?
Let me finish. Plus, so
Okay.
so Russell assumes a set R, which is the set of all sets that aren't a part of themselves. So
Oh, stop.
this
Can
set,
we just go to conclusions, please?
so if this set R has an actual infinite number of things within it. So if the set is if it is a collection of all sets that aren't a part of themselves, then it is a set that is a part of itself, and vice versa, which creates a logical contradiction within a
Yeah, I
system
just. I
where
think I already.
infinitism is true.
Yeah, I think I already covered this. I just said that. Well, one, I'll just deny the action, I guess. Can we go to conclusions, please?
So it concludes that an actual infinite is impossible.
Okay, and then I'll just say that you didn't justify that. All right. Does anyone want to judge that? Just real quick.
No.
Hiro Magi, were you listening to the majority of? Hello, Magi.
Hello. Magi doesn't do mathematics or theo or
I know,
philosophy.
but he can still probably gauge who won.
Yes. He's mainly a politics guy.
Yeah, but he can still gauge who won off the arguments. I know you can't, but like, who do you think won? Just like off what you heard.
Okay.
Hero, hello. Is Mike like purposely muted or something? He might have fallen in VC.
He's probably drunk. He's probably drunk.
No, he doesn't drink.
What is Magi saying?
All right, good debate, man.
Okay. Good night. Sleep tight, bro.
All right, sleep well, man. Yeah, you too, bro.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.